Hi, I'm the Scrub and you're here for one reason. Of course it's f***ing Ascians. Okay, 2 questions. 1, what are you doing here? 2, I'm gonna have to play your little games to get Gaia back, aren't I? Well, the teenager is going through her goth phase, so I guess I've got to be the savior to get the scene kid back into the land of reality. Oh, I've got to fight your dog now? Oh man, this day can't get any worse. At least I'll get to say that they are a very good doggo. Time to learn about Eden's Promise Litany. Simplified. The walls around the arena will have a dark pink and purple aura. Walking into or getting pushed into this wall will instantly kill you. Tanks try and keep the boss in the center of the arena as much as possible. The Shadow Keeper will cast Forward Implosion. It will look like it will be wooing to the moon. The boss will generate a 180-degree AoE that will cover the length of the arena in the direction it's facing, so you'll need to be behind the boss to dodge this attack. Getting hit by any of these mechanics will give you a vuln stack. Following this, the boss will turn to a random cardinal direction and cast Forward Shadow Implosion. You will notice that the shadow from underneath the boss will extend and rise up from the arena. This will also be facing a cardinal direction that might not be the same as the boss. This will be the same cast as before, but it will be from the shadow's position instead of the boss's. This can be hard to see, but I'm going to try and explain it as best I can. Imagine that the shadow that rises up from the arena is creating an arrow. The shadow's direction of where it will be facing is always in the direction of this arrow. So when the cast finishes, the shadow will appear in the orientation of the arrow and perform the AoE of the direction being cast. No matter which way the boss is facing, it will be replaced with the shadow, and the direction of the casting AoE will happen from the orientation of the shadow. So with every shadow mechanic like this, you'll need to see which side the shadow will be facing in order to correctly dodge the mechanics as best you can. Deep Shadow Nova is a room-wide AoE. The Shadow Keeper will then cast Backward Implosion. It will crouch down and wave its tail in the air. This is the same 180-degree AoE, but this time it will happen behind it, so you'll need to get in front of the boss to dodge this attack. Then there will be the cast of Backward Shadow Implosion. Again, you'll need to see which side the shadow is orientated and remember that the shadow will replace the boss. The backwards AoE will then be performed from the shadow's position, so you'll need to be in front of the shadow to dodge this attack. The Shadow Keeper will jump to the middle of the arena and cast Spawn Shadow. This will create 3 shadow clones of itself and tether to one of them. It will then cast Shadow Warrior and the shadows will begin to jump and swap places around the arena as the tether disappears. Make sure that you keep an eye on the shadow that had the tether. This first set of shadows will jump 5 times in the same direction. At the end of all of this, all of the clones will face the middle of the arena. There will be a huge straight line AoE from the original shadow that it tethered to, so you'll need to get behind this one in order to dodge the attack. After another room wide, the Shadow Keeper will cast Fade to Shadow. The boss will tether to 2 small circular shadows on the floor which are on opposite corners of the arena. These will have shadow clones pop out of them and get massive circular AoEs around them. Just move into an opposite corner away from the small circular shadows and you'll be safe for the rest of the mechanic. Then the boss will stand on its hind legs and get a sword with a massive point blank AoE around it. Just get out of this to avoid it. If you get hit by it, it will give you a vuln stack. The cast of Umbra Smash is a 4-hit attack that gives a stack of slashing resistance down with each hit. Tanks can tank swap after the 4th hit of Umbra Smash if they want, or if the main tank has low health, because right after this is the cast of Shadow's Edge, which is a straight line cleaving tank buster, so everyone else will need to definitely not stand with the tank. Then the boss will either cast left Giga Slash or right Giga Slash. Shadow Keeper will hold the sword in their paw over their head. Whichever paw that they are holding the sword in will be cleaving that half of the arena in the direction that they are facing, so you'll need to be on the opposite side of the boss to avoid this attack. Then it will perform the Shadow Slash of whichever way they just cast, either left Shadow Slash or right Shadow Slash. Again, this will be from the shadow's position in the arena. The cast of Void Gate will create 3 circles around the arena with 2 smaller circles in them. Each gate will need 2 people inside it to soak the damage. If you stand in the circle, you will get a small bleeding debuff. Keep standing in this circle until the Void Gate mechanic resolves. If even one gate isn't resolved, the entire party will receive a 30-second damage down. At the same time, a room-wide AoE called Void Pulse will go out. This will hit the party for more damage for every gate that's missed. Following this will be 2 left or right Shadow Slashes back to back. If the shadows are on opposite sides of the arena, then the safe zones will be one half of the arena, then the other. But if the shadows are perpendicular to each other, then there will be one safe quadrant in the arena which will not have an AoE through it. If you can visualize yourself between both shadows, you will be able to tell which quadrant will be safe. If it is casting left Shadow Slash, one quadrant to the right will be safe, and if it's casting right Shadow Slash, one quadrant to the left will be safe. Then the Shadow Keeper will perform a knockback called Distant Scream. When this goes off, the Shadow Keeper will return to normal. You can use knockback immunity or a well-timed gap closer to dodge this attack. You'll need to watch for the next spawn shadow as the final jump from the clones could change direction and go back the way it came. So again, make sure that you're keeping an eye out for the one that had the tether. When this goes off, 4 players will get a point-blank AoE at their feet with the cast of Shadowy Eruption. Just dodge out of these AoEs or you get a Vuln stack per AoE you are hit by. After another room wide, there will be 2 forward or backward shadow implosions back to back from different shadows. If the shadows are opposite each other, then the safe zones will be one half of the arena followed by the other. However, if the shadows are next to each other, you can determine where the safe zone will be easily. If they are both casting forward shadow implosion, then the quadrant where both shadows are touching will be the safe zone. And if they are both casting backward shadow implosion, then the quadrant without a shadow touching it will be the safe zone. Then it's another rune wide followed by a fade to shadow along with either a forward or backward implosion from the Shadow Keeper. This will halve the safe zone, so you'll need to make sure that you're on the safe side of the Shadow Keeper as well as avoiding the AoEs. The Shadow Keeper will get back up on its hind legs with another point blank AoE and cast Void Gate again. While the Void Gates are resolving, there will be a cast of either a left or right Giga Slash from the boss, so dodge to the safe side after the Void Gates go off. Then there will be another Shadowy Eruption with 2 left or right Shadow Slashes back to back, followed by Umbra Smash and the Tank Buster. Then it's another Shadowy Eruption which will be 3 AoEs back to back underneath the feet of 4 different party members. Then the boss will perform another knockback and return to normal. From here, the boss will repeat and cycle mechanics until it has been defeated. Congratulations, you have completed E10. My name is The Scrub. Thank you for watching.